mate, what are you doing?
Cool, well, my name is Will Flint. I am passionate about fitness. I like to keep fit. Business, I run a software company. And just life in general, really. Yeah, I went through a bit of a traumatic experience last year, which kind of taught me the value of being on the planet and still being here. Last year, New Year's Eve, I was out with some friends. On my way back, I took a taxi. And I stopped off at a cash point to pay the taxi driver. When I was at the cash point, I heard a girl screaming, turned around and saw her running up the road, being chased by a man. And then I saw something pretty horrific. He pulled her by the hair and punched her in the face. And as she got up, she ran towards me. I stepped in between them and I pushed the man off. And the next thing I know, he's reached for something in his pocket and he's pulled out a knife. Before I had a chance to react, he charged straight for me and started attacking me, and he stabbed me 12 times. So we wrestled. Eventually, the fight broke up. I was left bleeding out. I had a punctured lung, severed spleen, lacerated stomach. It's just a big, gory, bloody mess, to be honest. Managed to climb. I picked up his cap, I climbed into a taxi, and I got a taxi to hospital where I collapsed on the floor and got rushed in for emergency surgery. Yeah, I mean, like I say, I picked his cap up, which I don't remember doing, and they took the cap, scanned it for DNA evidence, they cross-referenced it, and he was known to the police, and they picked him up that way. But yeah, the guy got 9 years sentence in prison. He's currently in prison now. Where do I start? First of all, I'd ask them to rationalise the decision and think about it truly, and don't just do it because your friends do it. And I've done a lot of research into this. I've been campaigning against knife crime ever since this happened to me. We have a campaign called Drop the Knife. Website's droptheknife.com. I encourage people to check it out and see what we're doing, and we're raising some funding for it at the moment. But what people need to realise is that a lot of their answers are, I carry a knife for self-protection. Now let's analyse that statement. How, in any way, shape or form, is a knife ever going to protect you? A knife is a very close quarter, intimate weapon when it's taken out of the house. It's a tool. But when you take it out of the house, it's a weapon. Pure and simple. And if you have a knife on you and you're presented with a situation which doesn't require any kind of any force, maybe an altercation ensues, your most likely reaction is going to be to reach in your pocket and pull out that knife. The knife is going to get used on you, and you're going to get stabbed and put in a very dangerous situation. You're going to use it on someone else, potentially taking someone's life and ending up in prison and destroying a family. It's not going to be you're going to pull the knife out and have a sword fight with that person.
That's true. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a short weapon. It's not a gun. You don't back off and threaten someone with it. It's not a threatening weapon. You have to be up close and personal with someone to have a knife and to use it. Therefore, it's an attacking weapon. It's an offensive weapon, and you are not going to be protecting yourself by carrying it. In fact, you're going to be putting yourself at danger because you're more likely to use it in the wrong situation. And that's exactly why I would encourage anyone who either carries a knife to stop, or anyone that knows someone that carries a knife to report them. And I will always carry that message out. By all of us picking up knives in order to protect ourselves, where are we? We're looking at then the American gun culture society where everyone carries a weapon and no one feels safe. No, I don't believe that that's the right way to solve the problem, and that's not how we're going to feel safe on our streets. That night was the start of a big downward spiral for me. Before it happened, I was at my physical peak. I'd been competing in fitness competitions around the world. I just got back from doing a show in Dubai, and I was, on top of the world. I was doing well. I had this big fledgling career in front of me in the fitness industry. And then I woke up in hospital, surrounded by flashing lights and beeping and cables and wires and blood and staples and stitches, and my mum by my side crying. And I was like, what's happened? Where am I? And I looked down and I saw, the extent of the damage, and I just knew that was going to be it in terms of fitness for me, really. And it was pretty harrowing moment. Something that always stays with me. And the next few months what ensued, it was a big battle with depression, anxiety, post-traumatic stress, all the mental implications that come with any kind of trauma like that, as well as the physical battle. First and foremost, you've got to talk about it. You've got to open up. You can't keep that stuff bottled up. If you keep that shit inside, it's going to eat up away at you. It's going to manifest itself in so many other ways. The second part is to find an outlet for it. For me, it's physical training. It's also music. I play guitar, I play piano, I like to write. If you have any kind of way to express yourself that way, I would highly recommend it. Just the whole therapy of getting out what you're feeling inside is so kind of tranquil and therapeutic. It really helps to deal with that kind of stuff. And just to try and take yourself away, and keep yourself distracted. Give yourself a focus, give yourself a goal. Now, the way I did it was I channeled all the internal rage that I had for that person, and there was a lot, trust me. And I pushed that into something positive. Now that for me was getting back into the gym, getting back to my physical peak fitness, and I can't say that I will ever be there because I have half a lung now on my left side, and that's permanent. But I had the belief, and I had the belief that I could, and I refused to stay down. I think that belief and that tenacity all came from me setting myself a goal and working every step that I needed to do in order to achieve it. Alongside my circle of friends and my other creative outlets, that's what managed to pull me through. Well, my next goal is to make as big an impact as possible in the thing that impacted my life so much, which is knife crime. I want to make a dent. I want to be able to shape people's thoughts and be able to question their thoughts, and in a way which shows results. So we're going to push hard on the campaign over the next few months, and we're really going to try and make a difference to the problem. In the meantime, I'm going to carry on my fitness. You have to excuse the colour of me. I've been competing today. Got back on stage for the first time since it happened, and I managed to qualify for the British finals and the PCA Championship. So I'm really happy. But carry on my fitness and carry on my campaigning and keep pushing. Yeah, so we set up a Drop the Knife campaign, which we're soon to make a foundation. We're about to register for a charity, which I'm really excited about. And we're doing a big round of fundraising for it as well. The plan and the goal behind Drop the Knife campaign is quite simply to encourage people to stop taking knives out of the home. A problem which is sweeping the nation and is becoming a huge pandemic. And the government simply aren't acting. They aren't doing anything about it. They say they are, but trust me, they're not. They have withdrawn police forces from our streets. They've cut budgets, 700 million from the police. They've taken 20,000 officers off our streets, which has the knock-on effect of making people feel less safe. And that, as a byproduct, makes people feel like they need to protect themselves, which is then encouraging them to carry knives. So by them doing that, they're actually increasing the problem. But what we want to do, rather than look at reactive measures, which is what the government are trying to do, to patch up problems after they happen, we want to go into schools and address the problem before it becomes a problem. We want to talk to young kids that are at risk of getting into gangs, at risk of getting into gang culture and this kind of violent upbringing, and try to show them logically and inventively. We're using a very cool, innovative campaign. We've got VR headsets and VR learning experiences, and these kids are going to be immersed into a world where it feels real, in order to really have an impact on, if they make this decision, what will be the outcome. So we want to really hit home the fact that if you're choosing this life, and trust me, it's a choice, if you go down that path, these are going to be the likely outcomes. So allow them to make a logical decision about taking that knife out and choosing that path for them. But yeah, the campaign's called, the website's called droptheknife.com. If anyone wants to check it out, I really highly encourage them to do so. And we're working with some really good partners on it. And there's a project going into schools in the new year where I'll be going into schools and talking to young kids about the implications of carrying knives. Yeah, so it was an uphill struggle, to say the least, and I think there was a turning point when I was lying in bed and I couldn't really do anything and get out. Couldn't even use the toilet on my own or put my own socks on, and to go from being so independent to having to rely on everyone around me was just so frustrating for me. It was just something that I'd never experienced before, and it was hard for me to climb out of that hole. But I guess the way I did it was I kind of refused to accept it, really, and I channeled all the negativity that I had back into the gym as soon as I could. And even though I couldn't lift, I was there. I took myself out of my house, forced myself to the gym, to be around my friends. And first time I tried to train, I popped a stitch. It wasn't pretty. Probably wasn't very clever either, but I just wanted to be in that environment again. And that was a big turning point for me, to be able to get back out of the house, and to be around the public and around strangers again. Also, talking to people. I know it might sound silly, but talking to your close circle, your friends, your family, the people that are around you, that support you, they're there. And they are those people for a reason, because they're always going to be there. If you've got a good circle of friends, you will be able to rely on them, and they will be able to pull you through anything. And I'm fortunate enough to have that. And the friends that stuck by me by hospital are always going to be my friends for life. And without being able to, even though I thought that they couldn't understand, and I got a bit frustrated at times, and it was a personal battle for many respects, having them to vent my frustrations to, and all the emotions going on in my head allowed me to accept my current situation and also try to overcome it. Also, as a side note, I've got a little side project which we're running called ear hugs, and they are sweat-proof headphone covers. So I have the problem when I train and I exercise a lot. Sweat gets into my headphones cost a lot. So we protected them, called ear hugs, and they stop sweat getting inside your headphones as well as the bacteria. And they're completely washable and reversible as well. So we've launched those. We give £1 of every sale to the Mental Health Foundation. So I'm going to nominate a guy who's hugely inspirational to me. His story is remarkable, and he went through a very traumatic experience, quite similar to mine. He actually technically died on the operating table. The guy got stabbed in the heart. After a guy tried to take his phone, and he refused, and he stood up for himself and what he believed in, and he ended up getting attacked and stabbed, nearly losing his life. And I think he died technically 3 times on the operating table. They managed to resuscitate him and bring him back through, and now the guy, he was a previous professional boxer. Now he runs a personal training transformation studio. He competes himself. He has such a great outlook on life, and he's just such a good, caring guy. And I think, he'd be perfect for you guys to talk to. His name is Kieran Quinlan. And I'm gonna let you, bro.